Good evening. Say hi as you come in. I just made a cup of coffee. I was right in the middle of writing my post for my Instagram, and I looked at my clock and went, "Holy moly, I'm supposed to be going live there." Yeah. So yeah, I like the camera much better on the monitor. It had a nice wider frame, having it set up against the wall, but this is much better, right? I just really don't like that grain in the video, but it's all things that you can improve on as you go along. How's everybody's day? As you pop in, say hi to me, let me know you're in, let me know where you're from too, right? I'm getting pretty good at knowing where a lot of my chatters are from, right? Yeah, so it usually takes a few minutes for everybody to pop in and get the show on the road. But yeah, I try to be consistent. 7:30 on the dot on Sunday nights. We do a Chatters Live. Don't forget Christmas Eve. We're having a pajama party on Christmas Eve. Yeah, it should be fun. It should be lots of fun. We'll start it at 7 o'clock on Christmas Eve, and we'll just go until we're all ready to go to bed and see what Santa brings in the morning, right? Good evening, Andrew. How are you? How was church tonight? Oh, awesome. See, it's starting to get to be instinct now to pop in on Sunday nights and say hi to me. Yeah, I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. It's been an interesting week for me, right? Lots of challenges and stuff, and yeah, but yeah, I've got to figure it out. It's just so many challenges this week, and I've got no choice now, right? I have no choice but to jump in and get things sorted out, and it's just being forced on me now, right? Yeah, I was thinking today, I don't know. Things are so different from where I started off with my YouTube channel. I've changed so much, right? And I've just even changed even this year. I've changed so much. I have no idea. I do know that I enjoy all of this, right? But I have no idea where it's going. It's just like I said, it's changed so much. I was doing a post on Instagram today, and I was starting to feel I must have been into it, but it just at the last second, it just said, "Oh, I think it's time for me to go live tonight." And I looked, and sure enough, I had a few minutes to get ready before I was going live. Yeah, so I don't know how long I was working on that post. I must have been into it or something, but yeah, I didn't even go back onto my post from last night, right? I don't even remember what I posted last night. But I'm usually into it when I'm doing the posts. I'm usually feeling my posts. They had a prayer service today for I was going to the Baha'i church. It's a church of all denominations, right? Because I found a great interest in different denominations and different churches and everything. And yeah, and then today, I got up and yeah, I knew that the one main gentleman, he had a different group going on today, so he wasn't going to be there. So I wasn't too sure whether I was going to go for the prayers or not. But then I was thinking, I'm giving a lot of thought into religion. I've never been a religious person, right? My mom had us going to Sunday schools, and my uncle had a school bus that he would pick us up, and he was one of those traveling priests that were sent to different churches and stuff to pump up the congregation, right? And he had a school bus, and he would pick us up because 4 girls, we could always add on to the bus, right, onto the congregation. But yeah, oh yeah, I won't even tell that story. Yeah, I did something bad as a little kid going to church. But yeah, things you do when you get bored when the grown-ups are having their regular service, right? The kids are left to their own demise, right? But yeah. But yeah, other than Sunday school when I was a kid, church has not been, organized religion anyway has not been a big part of my life. And as of recently, to feel that there's something more out there, but you don't know what it is, right? Like I don't know what it is. So yeah, so I've been open-minded, right? So I've been open-minded. So I don't feel I want to commit to one faith, right? I don't think I want to commit to, even though this faith is a faith, and it's like all the congregations, all the denominations, right? It's still one faith, right? So I want to be open-minded, and I want to make sure that I look at different religions, right? Different spiritualities too. Like anything. I want to know all about it, right? I was so into archaeology and I was so into history, all through growing up, but the religion part of it, I never really studied it at all. And is part of history, right? You know? Yeah. So yeah, I've been finding an interest, but like I said, I don't want to commit. And this denomination, Baha'i, right, is really good one to start with, right? Because it introduces you to the possibility of not having a denomination at all, right? But yeah, like I said, I want to give every denomination a shot at convincing me, right? Right? Because there's something out there. Like I'm open to all kinds of information. Like there's power and understanding in knowledge, right? So it's always important, and especially Andrew, he would understand this, right, too, because it's important to better yourself with knowledge, right? From all different, and you got to be open-minded too, right? To all different possibilities, right? There's so many neat things that I'm learning about, but at the same time, you got to protect yourself too, because there's a lot of, I bump into a lot of videos and stuff that just, go, oh, right, ever, right? You don't judge, but at the same time, it's hard to believe some of this stuff, right? But you have to be open-minded, because every once in a while, something sticks, right? I wanted to be an archaeologist growing up. It was, I think, one of my I think was always history, because I even remember in the first grade, being all about dinosaurs, right? I just love dinosaurs. I found them to be so interesting, right? So started off with dinosaurs, and then it went to Egyptology, and then I was into like Mesopotamia and all the Middle Eastern countries. I got lots of big coffee table books and stuff. And yeah, I love art, pottery, from those ages, statues, right? Oh, yeah. The archaeology of like Rome, right? Because to see the Colosseum, to see the big Renaissance churches, right? Oh, I would just spend my time just walking down the sidewalks, cobblestone sidewalks, with my arms outstretched across the rocks, and I would just be, feeling the rocks as I go, right? Because you got to remember, thousands of years ago, maybe somebody was doing the exact same thing I was doing, right? I try not to be cautious. You can't help it, right? I'm not as cautious. I'm more open now than I have ever been, I think, right? But at the same time, it makes me a little bit vulnerable. It makes me not makes me so I don't want to be around people as much, right? Because I am so open. So I guess I am cautious in a way, right? But I don't mean to be, but I'm open at the same time. I'm cautious, but I'm open at the same time, right? Oh, Owen's here. I subscribe to Jamestown channel. What an interesting, they're digging up Jamestown, right? Which was the first town of like North America, right? And they found a church underneath the main church, and then they found another church underneath that, and then they found like a well underneath that. But they sift all the ground, right? And they get all the little remnants, like the very, very first Americans, right? And they post about once a month, once every 2 months they'll find things, but they find really, really interesting artifacts and old coins, and and they resorted to cannibalism in that town, right? So when they got into the baking area where the ovens were and stuff, that's when they found the animals and the servants and stuff. Like when people would pass away and stuff, like they ended up having to do that cannibalism thing, right? You know, isn't that a hard one to have to deal with, right? Makes me think, like, would I do that in order to survive? Would I eat somebody? Yeah, there wouldn't be any question in my mind, right? I would. What about the Donner Party, right? The ones that got stuck in the California mountains or the Nevada mountains, right? Going into California there, right? And yeah, they ended up having to do cannibalism too, right? Yeah, you do what you do have to do to survive, right? Yeah, yeah. As long as I survive, I don't know. I got that in my head, yeah, just survive. It worked out well for me. I'm still here, right? But I'll check into that book too when I come in. I'll write it down when I come in and look at the comments after a while. How's Owen doing today? How's your mom doing? Oh, it's really interesting. Jamestown is one that you would find really interesting, Andrew. Yeah, just punch in Jamestown and their channel should pop up right away. Yeah, they have the Shakers and the university students and stuff there. Like it's a real archaeological site, right? But they're very meticulous. Like, yeah, the pottery and the stories behind everything. Like, yeah, they're very thorough in getting that information out there, and it's really interesting, right? Yeah, I do like it. They tell the stories about the Indians in the area, and their relationships, because it was a very strange relationship, right? Sometimes it worked out, sometimes it didn't, and then they got trapped in their forts, right? And then they end up having to eat each other. Yeah, I'm sure they didn't eat each other when they were alive, but when people would pass away, right? Yeah, the starving years, they called them the starving years. Yeah, and I didn't know about it, but I find it interesting. I like history, right? I like history. Oh, right, that movie Alive, right? What those the in the Andes Mountains, right? When that big 747 with those soccer players crashed into the Andes. I was pretty sure it was the Andes, right? And how long did they live? They lived a long time. They lived 90 days or something up in the frozen, right? No, more than that. Yeah, because the two of them walked out in the spring, right? The two of them got out of there. Oh, right. Yeah, so I was right. The Andes soccer team. Yeah, football, soccer, same thing, I think. Depending on what part of the world you're from, right? Yeah. Mm. I was able to make a nice hot cup of coffee tonight, right? See what I was up for topics of discussion today? Yeah. Just say how far away am I from my content, that I'm doing. And it's still for the same audience, right? And it's still important stuff, right? And it's still interesting, but it's so different from what I was doing. Chatters are always fun, right? Yeah. Oh, I'm glad to hear that, Owen. I'm glad to hear that your mom's doing okay. Can I ask how old your mom is, Owen? Yeah. Like that's a big burden. Like, my mother was on her own right within a couple of weeks until she passed away, right? Yeah, she was pretty self-sufficient that way, right? But yeah, I would like to stay on my own. I've been thinking, like a little wood cabin out in the woods, right? Out in the woods with good internet though. I would have to have really, really good internet. And yeah, people could fly in on my own private lake out in the front, and they could fly in and consult with me. Things my brain whips up when I'm left to my own. Yeah. I'd be curious to know how much weight I've lost. I have no idea how much weight I've lost. Yeah. Hmm. I'm not really doing much in the way of exercise besides my walks, right? And I haven't been for a walk yet today. I didn't go for a walk today, right? But maybe I'll go for a walk tonight before I. Oh, and Nancy's here. We missed you last week, Nancy. How are you doing? Yay, Nancy's here. How are you doing, Nancy? Yeah. Yeah, Nancy's one of our sweethearts. Yeah, you didn't make it in last week, right? So I'm glad to see that you're here. Hmm. Yeah, the guys are happy to see Nancy too, right? Yeah, so I'm just trying to figure out now what I'm going to be doing, right? Like my life is about to be changed dramatically in the next couple of weeks. Um, I'm not going to go into details and stuff, right? Because I don't want to worry my sisters and stuff, and I know they watch these lives, right? Because it's the only way they can figure out what's going on with me. But just so they know, it's all good, right? It's yeah, everything is just gonna work out just perfectly fine, and I'm perfectly optimistic about that. I just would like to figure out, I can't go without a vehicle. I just can't go without a car. So that will have to be my first priority once I get back to getting things sorted, right? I think I'll have a much better handle of things now, right? Because just being able to understand my emotions, right? I haven't been around a lot of people or anything to practice, but I think that I'm pretty excited, that the few people that I've had, chats and interactions with, like I'm feeling really comfortable about yeah, and it's a little bit about this post that I'm doing today on Instagram, right? The way I pick up people's feelings, right? And I take them on as my own, right? And not being able to recognize what are my feelings and what are the feelings of other people, right? Like when people get worked up and then I get worked up, right? And then I think that those are my feelings, right? And then I'm trying to solve these emotions and try and then I'll beat myself up, like why are you acting like that and stuff. And when to start with, it wasn't anything that had anything to do with me to start with, right? And just to be able to understand those feelings now, right? Because I didn't understand those feelings before, right? Like I'd just take on all these anything I felt, right? If I felt anything, I just assumed that I was feeling them, so I just assumed that they were my feelings, right? So, with a better understanding of that now, that those feelings are actually just feelings that I picked up off of other people, that maybe I'd be able to get back into the workforce. And actually, because I did like retail. But it was those angry customers, right? Yeah, I didn't know how to deal with those angry those angry customers, right? Because the customer's always right. So I spent half the time, well, I spent all the time just biting my tongue, right? Because I couldn't really tell them what I thought, right? But yeah, now I don't have to bite my tongue, right? Because then I can just say, hey, I don't need that. Here, you can take your bad day back. Well, I won't say that to him, but at least I can think that and realize that for myself, right? That it's not personal, not to take things so personal, right? And I know I take things personally, even though in my head I know better, right? Oh, I like cash registers, learning out that kind of stuff, right? Yeah, it's lots of fun. I like doing the cash register. Yeah, POS systems and stuff. Yeah, I like that kind of stuff. And I like the office atmosphere. I just can't type, but I bet you I could run circles around people in an office. Yeah, something needs to get done. Yeah. Yeah, sick Cindy on it. Cindy will get it sorted for sure. Yeah. And you wouldn't even have to ask because I would have it sorted even before you noticed that it was something that needed to be sorted. Yeah. There are benefits to have people like me. Every once in a while you got to deal with me bursting into tears for no reason at all, right? But people are usually pretty good about that. You just say, "Oh, forget about me," right? Even if it's the person in front of you is the one that's got the broken heart, and that's what you're feeling, right? But I can usually deal with that. But yeah. It was those angry customers, that would come at me, right? And then I would take it personally, like they were personally attacking me, right? But they weren't. They were just, yeah, they were just dealing with their own stuff, right? So, yeah, I like to help once in a while, right? If you have the answer, right? And you know that you can help somebody that way, because I was always looking for the answer for myself, right? When something would happen to me because I'm an INFJ, right? And I think of everything. And because I'm an INFJ T, right? T is the trauma. T is the one with the emotions, right? So there's an A, which is the assertive, right? And then there's the T, and I'm the T. But because I run on emotions like that, it's very easy for me to run off and yeah, just take it all on as my own, right? So I've been practicing. Did I see Cindy come in here? Yes, I did. Hi, Cindy. I didn't catch your video. You were doing a shout out video earlier this week, and I meant to catch on, but I bumped into a couple of couple of interesting channels, right? That was giving me some really helpful information. I'm really trying to be present, right? I'm trying not to think too much about the future. And I'm thinking a little bit about the past, but that's because I think I'm trying to escape, right? And the past is a good, I can find pockets of happy memories in my past, right? So it's easy for me to disappear and find a spot to just kind of hide out in my past, right? As for the future, well, it's good to daydream, right? Of better times, right? Because right now, sitting in the present, it's not so fun, right? Because yeah, because I've gotten myself in such a mess, right? But you gotta make a mess to clean a mess. I keep saying that. You gotta make a mess to clean a mess, and I don't think it could get any messier than it is right now, unless something happened to one of my sisters, and then of course then it would get messier. But yeah, it's Christmas time. Not to let everybody forget, right? On Christmas Eve we are doing our pajama party Christmas Eve live on Christmas Eve, 7 o'clock Christmas Eve. So everybody is more than welcome to come hang out with me. I'm going to do I'm going to make my own mincemeat pie, I think, this year, and a vanilla ice cream, because I'm going to have a root beer float too, right? So mincemeat pie, vanilla ice cream, and a root beer float. I just might have to have a donut or something to super celebrate, but those were the two things I committed to. But I might think of one other thing to celebrate. I thought I'd go off my diet for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, right? And just have really, really nice days of eating my favorite things. And yeah, a mincemeat pie is, I love, it's my favorite mincemeat. And I didn't realize that, well, I did realize, but mincemeat is actually suet, and suet is actually pig fat, right? Cut up into cubes, and then it's like cured in sugar, right? So it's like candied fruit, right? Yeah, suet. I don't care. It tastes delicious, right? I eat pork rinds. I love pork rinds. Yeah. Yes, I love root beer too. I haven't been drinking very much pop. I used to be tons and tons of pop, and I have like pop in the fridge, I'm sure is out of date, right? Every once in a while I get super thirsty because all I'm doing is drinking a ton of coffee, right? So I do get thirsty for something cold once in a while, and I'll crack one open, not looking at the expiry date. I don't want to see the expiry dates, but I also at the same time I don't want to waste either, right? Yeah, I'm learning to recycle. Yeah, it's a new one for me, right? I've never been a recycler, right? But it's important for the world. If I'm going to talk about, getting rid of the plastic, and and start recycling plastic properly, like I've got to practice what I preach, right? So I've decided to make a concerted effort in recycling. I'm not very good at it. I heard that you can't do water bottles if you have any water inside of them. I didn't know that. That was a new one for me, that the recycling plants won't take water bottles if they have like even a dash of water in them. That's ridiculous, right? That makes for even more plastic in the world. I used to freeze the water bottles, and then let them thaw out and drink the water in the water bottles as the white ice was thawing out, right? But then I actually found out that when you freeze a water bottle, the water, when it contracts, it will pull the plastic from the bottle liner itself. So when it thaws out, if you shake your water, you can actually see the particles of plastic in the water, right? Yeah, so freezing bottled water is not good. Yeah, I was really surprised that there's only what is it, 20% of the body of water in the world. 20% is fresh water. Everything else is salt, right? Yeah, fresh water, 20%. That's not very much. Yeah, very concerned about the water, like clean water for everybody, right? I just found out that one of my favorite entrepreneurs, I think it was Tony Robbins, actually delivers 250,000 gallons of fresh water to India every day, right? That's a huge endeavor. I would like to do maybe something like porta potties, right? All the way down the main streets and stuff like that, and then start finding people, that do their business that don't use the porta potties, right? And then you can hire city workers to deal with those porta potties, and then get that river that runs through the city cleaned up, right? That they're using. They're just dumping stuff into the river like it was the medieval ages, right? Yeah, I keep saying, like, the world's got to come together and do something for these countries, right? Because pretty soon it's not going to be a country problem. It's going to be a world a world problem is going to cause the whole world some problems, right? Yeah. So let me take a look at the the messages here and see what everybody's yapping about. Well, I know you're dealing with your own thing, Andrew. How's your brother doing? Did you get those papers all sorted out and everything that you needed to get done last week? Yeah, it just sounded like an awful lot of paperwork that you were doing there for your brother. I hope it all worked out for you okay. And I heard you like doing a month to month lease or something with him. Yeah, it sounds like a big hassle. I think the world naturally filters water pretty good, you know. I mean, there's always lots of ways that you can filter it even more, right? You know, and you can always screen things, but I think you're right, you know. There's a lot of places that do get a lot of water, and you can utilize that, you know, and I watch, right? Because, you know, I've been doing a little bit of laundry in the bathroom sink and stuff like that as of late, right? So you know, you take notice of using that extra water that you wouldn't otherwise be wasting, right? So yeah, it's just a matter of becoming a little bit more aware. I should have been much more aware than what I am now, like ages ago, right? You know, I don't know why I fought it for so long. Like, you know, like it was my right? Like it was my right to live the way I pleased, you know, not worrying that it was hurting the world in any way, right? You know, we're all living in the same world, right? We're all responsible to take care of it, you know? Yeah. I've been really enjoying your posts lately, Cindy. I've been your inspirational, your little cute ones and stuff. I've been really enjoying them. Good job, like really good job. Yeah, you're providing lots of value there. I was so pleased when I popped in and I saw your Instagram like that. You did a really great job. I really like that. But what were you saying? Oh, I know about your farm because I've been trying to get down there because I want to go metal detecting. Because you said it's got some really old homesteads there, right? Oh, William's here. Good evening, William. Yeah, so it's about being a little bit more conscious, I guess, you know, and in the stuff that we have. Like I'm starting to minimize minimize a lot of the stuff that I have personally in my house, right? You know, like I want to declutter, like I want to have more space, right? More clean space and more roundness to my furniture. I got lots of sharp corners, right? I think I would like to have a more of a nice round 70s, like the 70s furniture. There's a lot of rounded like teak and stuff. I like teak. Yeah. And my artwork too on the walls. I like lots of art, right? All kinds of art too. I'm not particular, right? Yeah, check out Cindy's Instagram. She's got a really good. She does inspiration too, right? I really like the effort that you put in there, and it's very uplifting, right? You know, my Instagram they can get really heavy, right? Because I deal with emotions on my Instagram, right? You know, I kind of always think that you know that there are people out there, you know, they have emotions, right? And they know what they're called and stuff, but to actually understand those emotions and understand how they affect you, how they affect other people, and how they can impact you through your whole life, right? So, you know, I get into these discussions on my Instagram, and yeah, they get a little heavy talk, but you know, hopefully hopefully, if they even help one person, right? Because they've helped me out so much, right? Like I was never a super angry person. Like me and my husband, like I don't think we ever had an argument. I don't think he might have come home and yelled once because I do remember him punching a hole in the side of the fridge, right? But yeah, that was probably in one of his big drunk party things that he had, and he came home and he did that. But yeah, I don't ever remember us ever. I'm very not. I will usually be somebody who will back down, right? Like you can start to give some help or some advice or offer to be an ear, but if somebody's not in the mood, right, if they're not in the mood for your company or your ear, like yeah, you just gotta let it go, right? Yeah, I've gotten myself in lots of situations where like you end up wanting to get in to help, and then you end up just turning it into even a bigger mess, right, than what you intended it to be. Oh, I just checked to see, and again, I did it, right? I didn't even pull my microphone over. So I hope everybody can hear me clearly. Sorry about that, as usual. That's me. Yeah. So what's going on with me? Like I don't know. I am in a bit of a conundrum myself, right? You know, because I don't want to be put someplace that I don't want to be, right? I just fighting doing stuff that I don't want to do. I just fighting it, and I know it comes off as selfish. I know it comes off as selfish, but I just like I just want to do what I want to do, right? I just want to live my life, like to realize that I wasted, so much, so many years, right? Like I really, you know, my life could have been so different, so much more different if I had known how to understand my feelings or understand certain things about my life or you know different surroundings and stuff that I had put myself into, right? If I had a better understanding, then maybe, but I've wasted so much of my life. Like I just want to experience, right? I just want to be around people that like the kind of stuff that I like and people who understand me, and I want to see and do different things. I want to be around people. I want to have good conversations, but I want to have a couple of good relationships, I think. you know and I think I need a cat. I know I've been saying that for a couple of weeks now, but I gave it some thought. Like I don't remember ever not having a cat. Like I've always had a cat, like my own cat, even as a little kid, right? Like even the cats were like my cats, right? Like I was the only one really who cared about the cats. So yeah, maybe I'll get a cat. Maybe that's what. Yeah, my sister Carolyn, yeah, can get me a cat if I need a free kitten. I'll even take an adult cat, right? A cat that needs a home or something, right? It's hard to train, but I'm a cat whisperer for sure. Like I took my mother's cat when my mother passed away. I felt so terrible. My sisters, I was ready to put the cat down. I had made plans to do it and everything. This cat, you couldn't go near it. It bit, it scratched. It had this bum that was covered in dry poop. It was just a nasty, mean cat, right? And yeah, I felt so bad for my sisters that I decided that, I'll just take this cat. And within a week, that spot on his bum was gone. I was picking it up and I was carrying it around in the house. It talked to me. Yeah, and it ended up being like my best friend Wow, I must have had that cat for a long time. I had that cat for at least 5 years before it got really, really sick and I had to put it down last year. But, I didn't get a cat right away because I thought, I would be off exploring. I was going to be off having this big adventure, right? And it was a big adventure. It was just a different kind. It was just a different kind of adventure that I ended up with. Just as interesting, maybe even more interesting, maybe more impactful, right? It's just, yeah, just a little bit exhausting now, right? But that doesn't stop me. It doesn't change my mind in anything that I'm doing, right? It just means that I'm exhausted. That's all it means. It just means, yeah, just get it done. Might be a little bit slower, but yeah. But it's the car, right? I need to figure out the car situation. Yeah. Can't do anything without a car. It just locks me down, right? Yeah. But it's better that I have this. I feel better about myself, right? And that's what's most important is that I feel good about myself. I wasn't feeling good about myself and I wouldn't have been able to feel good about myself, right? I don't know what this next week has in store for me. Not good, I'm sure, but at the same time, I'm expecting good, right? So I don't know, just playing it moment to moment, right? Just moment to moment. Yeah, I think a kitten would be good for me. If I had a car, I could just drive out to the just outside the city, right? Lots of the barn cats, are ready to, not spend winter in a barn this year, right? But if you don't get them now, then they'll be feral come spring. You won't be able to handle them too much, and then they're only good for the farm, right? But my sister has a coon cat. Oh, just beautiful, right? Curly hair, beautiful fur. Oh, just a beautiful, beautiful cat. And it likes me too, right? And he doesn't like anybody, but like I said, I'm a bit of a cat whisperer, right? Yeah. Who's got pets out there? Oh, Kathy's here. Hi, Kathy. That's nice that you popped in. We were talking about pets. How I was thinking of maybe getting a cat. I know it could tie me up a little bit when it comes to traveling and exploring and stuff, right? And but I could always worry about it in the moment, when I have to deal with it. But it's also not good and fair to the cat too if I decide because if I have an opportunity to go somewhere, of course I'm going to take off somewheres, right? you know, Evan Carmichael is going on tour uh, in the next month or so. He's going on a tour, so I would like to go to one of the cities that he's going to be visiting at. At the very least, I would like to get to Toronto, right? You know, for his last one on his tour. I did like Toronto. I didn't like that highway 401. Wow, it was a scary, scary, scary highway. Like I drove pretty good on it. I was surprised I was maneuvering pretty good on it. But yeah, wow, wow. And people drive really, really fast. I think you could drive like 120 or something. Yeah. And then all the intersections to be able to go off onto whatever side of the city. I guess if you knew the city, but yeah, it took me an hour just to drive out of the city. That's how big that city is. It's the fourth largest city in North America, the fourth largest one, right? Yeah, it's a big city. Not like Winnipeg. Winnipeg is big geographically, I think, but it's spread out, right? It just looks big because there's no hills or mountains or anything. It's just flat. So you can look out your window and you can see Winnipeg going on for forever, right? Yeah, so everybody's ready for Christmas, right? Don't forget, Christmas Eve, we're going to be having our Christmas Eve pajama party, right? Yeah, I'll have to pick out a cute pair of pajamas for the pajama party. And yeah, gonna have some good munchies. You're gonna wake up on Christmas morning with a really bad stomach. I'm certain of it, right? That I'm gonna have a bad stomach because, yeah, I had a piece of matrimonial cake a couple of weeks ago or last week. Um, and yeah, it was wonderful, right? So I think I'll have, like, when I do introduce treats back on, I'm going to be doing those kind of treats, right? The date slice. I'll eat more nuts, even though I know peanuts and different kinds of nuts can cause inflammation. And that's something new to me too, right? Because I ate a lot of peanut butter, a lot, like a ton of peanut butter, right? And yeah, and now I don't do any peanut butter at all, and yeah, no inflammation or anything, and yeah, I got I'm working on my level 2 Reiki, right? I'm gonna be a Reiki healer. I'm getting pretty good at it. Yeah, so when I get really good, maybe on Christmas Eve, I'll give everybody a Reiki healing, right? So that nobody has any aches or pains for Christmas Day. Yeah. I can practice on my audience, right? Because supposedly you can do, oh, Jennifer's here too. Yeah, because supposedly you could do Reiki through the monitor. Like, how great would that be for seniors and stuff that can't get out of the house, right? Yeah. So yeah, Reiki, and there was another one that I was gonna look into too. But yeah, it spoke to me, right? And I've been doing Reiki healing for myself, right? Like letting other people do Reiki healing on me, right? And yeah, it resonated with me, right? So I think I want to do Reiki healing. Yeah. But tarot card reading resonated with me too, but I'm not gonna do tarot card reading because yeah. I don't want to do anything that's not like good witchy stuff, right? Like, I like magic. I like magic just as much as the next person, right? But it's gotta be good stuff, right? Like, I don't want to be doing no Ouija boards. I don't want to be doing like tarot cards and stuff. I don't want to do anything that isn't good stuff, right? Yeah. Yeah, but I do like magic. I do like to be dazzled and amazed, right? So I do like the little surprises. I got another one. This is gonna be so stupid. Yeah. So I'm cleaning the front room window a few days. This is so silly. I was cleaning the front room window the other day, and the season for the bugs and everything is all over, right? And I kind of wiped, and there was a ladybug, and it was stuck to the window so I kind of figured it was dead, right? So I kind of flicked it, and then I had this thought, like, what if it's not dead? I can't put it in the garbage bag. What if this ladybug's not dead? So I had this little Tim Hortons card where you put your stickers on it, and I scooped up the little bug there, and I went to the fridge and I gathered lettuce and little celery leaf and stuff, and I sprinkled it around this. I can't believe I'm telling you guys this, and I sprinkled it around this card around this dead ladybug, right? And then I took the teaspoon and I put some water in it because it's been sitting in the window and it needs some water. So I put a couple of drops of water on the card next to its head. I wasn't too sure which end was head, but I put water on both ends just in case. And then I swished it around, and I thought it moved. Like, I swear to God, I thought I saw this thing move, right? And then I thought, well, maybe this ladybug just got swept up the drops of water on the card. And when I moved the card, it kind of just swished in the water, right? So I went and I said, where am I going to put this stupid thing, right? So I went into the broom closet and I stuck it on the floor inside the broom closet. I said, you've got water, you've got food. If you're alive, now you can find a place to hibernate, right? So I closed the door. And then I looked the next day, it popped into my head that I had done this silly thing with this ladybug, right? The night before or a couple of days before. And I went to the closet and I opened up the closet door and I looked at the card. The ladybug was gone. Now a spider could have come and eaten it, which is quite possible. I never thought of that a ladybug could have come and eaten it. But if not, then I saved a ladybug, right? Because now I find a nice dark spot in the closet to hibernate until spring. And then and then a ladybug turns into, what does a ladybug turn into in the spring? Does it turn into something? Does it turn into a moth or something? I don't know. I don't know what happens to ladybugs. Maybe they just die. Maybe they just do a season and that's it. Oh, I'm just tired tonight, Jennifer. But that's good that you think I'm being silly. But it was, when I tell these silly stories about, these things that I do that are so strange, right? Trying to save the ladybug, but the ladybug was gone. Like the ladybug, there was a little bit of dried up lettuce around it, right? But the ladybug was gone. So I'm not too sure if the ladybug was alive and I saved the ladybug, or a spider just came along and said, yum, dinner, which probably was the case, and then it wouldn't have been such a miracle afterwards. But actually, when I went to this Baha'i service, prayer service, right, because I had questions, like if you know the story about the pigeons that came into my house, and then the story about the moth in the pond, and then my ladybug, and my pet flies, right? Like I have these little interactions with other creatures and stuff, right? And they're too, what is it? The story, right? The story around the interaction with these little creatures that I have are so intricate that they don't seem plausible to be an accident, right? They don't seem that they would be. It seems like it's a miracle is what I'm saying, right? Like they seem to be like little miracles to me, right? So when I went to this prayer service, and like we have, I don't know if they do it normally, but every time I've been there, we get into these big conversations. They probably feel sorry for me because I don't have anybody to talk to anyway, right? So then I sit down and I get into these deep conversations with them, but they always seem, happy to get into these talks with me too. But I told them the story about the moth, right? And, and the way they told about explanations as to what actually happened and stuff, right? So instead of me thinking of it as a miracle that maybe, this moth had felt the vibration in the water, right? And somehow got the strength to move towards the vibration in the water, right? But yeah, different things like that, just to, but they give me different perspectives that I can see things a little bit differently, right? Because, nowadays anything, that dazzles me, goes, ooh, like, have I just seen something amazing, like I don't know, right? And then I'll just automatically think that way. And then in actuality, it was something quite explainable, right? Yeah. See you later, Cindy. Much love to you. Say hi to your husband. That wasn't, that was Erica's husband. Oh, it's nice that Jennifer popped in. Yes, skateboards, weren't in my generations. Like my aunt, skateboarding I know was very popular when I was a small kid. I remember my aunt had one, right? You know, and that was in the 70s, early 70s, you know. So I know skateboards were really popular then, and then I know they came back in the 80s, that skateboards came back, right? And you know, skateboards I think are still popular now. But yeah, I just seem to be missing the you know how everything comes back after a while, right? Yeah. Now I wouldn't even get on one, right? I'd probably break every single bone in my body. I'm very protective of my health now, right? You know, like I'm very proud of the fact that, you know, that I've stayed, you know, fairly healthy, right, in the course of my life, right? You know, and you know, to be, and actually I've been giving myself some thought, right? Like, do we actually even ever even thank our body, right? You know, the abuses that we put our body through. Like, you know, my body held up for me fairly well and had to work for it, right? You know, are you leaving, Andrew? Oh, the other Cindy. Yeah, so you know, I've abused my body through my whole life. Well, if I didn't abuse my body, I mean, there was a lot of name calling my body had to take, you know, and I believe that every cell in the body, you know, imprints memory, right? So, you know, my body felt that, right? You know, and every time that I had a negative emotion thrown at me or a negative thought, you know, at me, whether it was by someone else or I did it to myself, right? You know, yeah, my body, you know, took a beating for me, got me here healthy, right? Got me where 58 years old and not to have any aches or pains, right? You know, I know having ailments, right? My ailments are probably more on the emotional side, right? You know, but yeah, working that mindset, sure, working that one pretty good, right? Yeah, I should be. Oh, I couldn't even imagine where I should be emotionally right now. The way my life is crashing around on me, the way that it is. I'm just really kind of proud of myself that, you know, that I'm holding up the way that I am. I mean, yeah, I am an emotional person, right? It's easy for me to be emotional, but to be panicky, you know, like that. I'm never usually that person anyway. But it still makes me proud that I can take these beatings in my life and you know, and I'm going to come out the other end even better, you know, for it, right? Yeah. And I'm going to have better tools, right? Build up some good friendships and yeah, build a good life for myself, right? I have an idea of how I would like to do that, right? But yeah, it's a matter of getting back onto my feet, right? Yeah. How are your legs this week? I know that they were bothering you last week, Andrew. Your legs. I hope your legs are doing much better this week. Oh, thank you, Kathy. Thank you. I am trying. I just can't imagine that I've gone through this whole thing and just stayed online and just let everybody see the mess that I've put myself through. But I was through, you know, I'm not out of it, right? Like, you know, my life still sucks poop, right? Right now. But emotionally, you know, emotionally, I feel like for the first time I've got a real understanding of what happened, right? And I have a full understanding of what I can do to make it a whole lot better for myself, right? Yeah. If I had known, right? It's easy to say if you had known, but yeah, it is what it is, right? You make the best of it. And yeah, I'm gonna have a good time. Once I've got this all sorted out, I'm just gonna have the best time. I don't plan on wasting any more of my life on what happened, right? You know, maybe I could help a few people, who went through what I went through, be able to get their stuff back together. I really think that mindset can help with post-traumatic stress disorder. I truly believe that it could help out lots, right? You know, we people who suffer trauma, they tend to take care of themselves, right? They're not tough on themselves, right? Because life is rough already. I still don't deny myself, right? If I want something, I want something, right? And I won't deny myself. But at the same time, we'll beat ourselves up, and we won't ask for help. So it's really good to know that there are resources out there that you can work with on your own, right? And better improve your life. Yeah, and it wasn't my intent, right? Maybe it was a little bit because it was suggested to me, right? And I did find it helpful in the beginning, right? Because I was really miserable and everything. But yeah, when I realized that when I had some serious issues, like self-worth issues, self-esteem issues, self-love issues, when I had those, I had them really deep, right? And here I was trying to be all tough and everything, that because I wasn't showing them, that I had learned not to show them, right? That nobody could see them, that they weren't actually there, right? But then anytime anybody did anything to me, or anytime I thought, right, somebody was doing something to me, right, then I would beat myself up emotionally, because that's how I dealt with things my whole life, right? you know so I'm very grateful that I found those traits, that I'm able to work on them a little bit, right? I might not have had that opportunity if I hadn't, right? But when I did that and I discovered that, those trauma feelings that I had, right, that closed up, don't let people close, and that's the biggest part of trauma, because you want to shut down, right? When you have trauma, you want to every moment, forget about every day, every moment is a battle to be active, right? Every to move forward in any way, even in a thought, right? With trauma, it's a battle, right? So you need that tough love. And and I know people who teach mindset, I mean, they wouldn't, I'm not necessarily think that they would think they'd want to have it associated with tough love, right? But mindset doesn't give you the opportunity to not pay attention to yourself, right? It's all about being aware. And if you're aware, right? If you're aware, then you can't help but want to make it better, right? Especially for people like me, right? You know? So instead of putting that effort into helping other people at that time, I put that effort into helping myself, right? And now that I've helped myself, maybe I can help others now, right? Yeah. But we're still working, right? I'm still not there. Like I said, I'm pretty exhausted. This took a lot out of me. So I'm ready for some good things to start happening for me right now, right? So we're just going to get Cindy back on track. And once things are back moving a little bit better, and I get that part of the stress part off of me, right? Then I'll be able to take on more, right? Yeah. Look at right there. It's my first pimple. I just said that I haven't had pimple in years, and I got my first pimple this week. I was so excited. Yeah, right in the middle of my cheek too. You can't really notice it, but yeah, I sure felt it. But yeah, 50 years old and I still get pimples. That's what I'm learning about, Andrew, is about living in the present, right? You know, you have no control over the future, right? You can be aware of that poop that you're about to step into, right? But only because you see it, but you can't avoid something that hasn't happened yet, right? I've never been that person. That is a terrible. I had a friend who was consumed with illness and death, and not just hers, right? Her families and her kids. Like, wow, how did she even think that she had that she would have a say in when those would happen? But it also makes you think, if something did happen, how she would beat herself up, that she wasn't able to do something. But you got no control, right? When it's your time, it's your time. The best you can do is, go to the doctor when you need to, take your vitamins when you can, right? Just take the best care of yourself as you can, right? Yeah. And I'm trying. I'm trying to take care of myself, right? Eat properly, get vegetables, and yeah. Oh boy, do I have a story for you? Boy, do I have a story for you. So I went to the grocery store and I thought, oh, I'm going to make soups this week, right? Because there were like little pork chops for $1 something. And I thought, oh, you fry up the meat, and I got onions and, celery. I'm just going to have different soups every day. And I usually buy this 6-bean frozen mix, right? So I can just add a few beans to my soup. And they didn't have the beans, so I went to buy a can of beans, and they were a couple dollars. But then when I saw that dried beans you could get for a couple dollars, but you could get a whole bunch of dried beans, right? And I went, holy cow, I can make soup every day. So I decided to make a soup. I guess I boiled and soaked too many beans, because, yeah, it ended up being like a big bowl of beans that I ate, and I had such stomach aches for 2 days. I couldn't eat anything, like nothing. Oh my gosh, it was awful. It was awful. I don't even want to describe how awful it was, but yeah, I'll never do that again. Yeah. But it was a first time. I mean, I've used dried beans like to make chili, but yeah, I use these pinto beans for my soup and stuff, and yeah, just it was a terrible experience. But I learned a lesson. It won't happen again, right? I just put way too many beans in there. But dangerous, right? Like, dangerous to eat. Like, I could see how dangerous that a little kid, if you had done that to a little kid, that would have just been, that would have been just awful. I like filling up a day. I do. I like to. I just love life in general. I was actually, who was I talking to? Oh, my sister Carolyn, right? Yeah. I said to her that, no matter how good or how bad life is, it's all life, right? Yeah, you take it all. Like, it's all big adventure for me, right? Good or bad. I would prefer it to be all good, but yeah, that isn't realistic, right? If it isn't one thing, it's another. Oh, I like that one, Andrew. That's a good saying. Worry does not empty tomorrow of its sorrow. It empties today of its strength. I like that one. I love quotes. But yeah, fear and anxiety, is terrible thing. And I don't think, and I was actually reading some articles too that was saying, like, fear and anxiety is not necessarily yours either, right? It could be something that's passed down, genetically over a couple of generations, right? It all depends on what your grandparents or great grandparents went through too. And you can have these issues and not even know why you have these issues, right? because it doesn't have anything to do with you. It's because it's something that's passed down, right? It's passed down to you. Yeah, I learned that. But yeah, very interesting. I love the quotes, right? You can throw those in anytime you want there, Andrew, and I know you're full of them for sure. So what else is going on, everybody? We've got Christmas Eve, right? Don't forget Christmas Eve. We're gonna do a pajama party live party, and I'm gonna have mincemeat pie, and I'm gonna have a root beer float so far, and I'm sure I'm gonna think of some other kind of treat for that night. And hopefully next time, we're talking, I am back to work. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but it's going to be something quick and something fast, and yeah, I'm going to dig myself. I'm going to do whatever it takes, whatever it takes to get me out of this mess, because yeah, this I I've got to have a summer, right? I've got to have the summer of my dreams. I got a taste of it this year, right? This year I got a real good taste of the kind of things that I want to do, and I'm not going to settle for anything less than what I want, and yeah, what I deserve, right? Like I deserve it, like hell. Well, we all deserve it, right? Yeah. My problem is that I tend not to worry. I was thinking about that too, right? Like, because I'm trying to stay present, I'm trying to stay in the moment, right? But when I do that, what happens is I don't think about the problems, right? And I try to think of a solution to a problem, but then I think of the problem. So then what do? I keep the problem out so I don't think about the problem, right? So then nothing seems to be getting solved in the problems, right? Because I'm avoiding even looking at the problems. So yeah, I gotta figure that one out. I should have had that one figured out. I don't know. I'm in such a block. I am in such a block, like nothing this week. Everything is taking effort, right? You know? And I know if I have to put any serious effort into anything, there's a reason for that. And, I know I'm not doing exactly what I want to be doing, right? But is it getting me in that direction? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. But it's not what I want to be doing. So in order to be doing what I want to be doing, I got to be working in a kind of a different direction. I can still work this way, right? While I'm trying to go for this, but yeah, I've really got to give it a shot. I just can't give up on anything. I have to have this shot for myself. I have to. Yeah. I'll be like that guy. That guy, he for like 10 years, every night before he went to bed, he would pull out his guitar and he would sing a song. He did this every night for like years and years and years. And he ended up getting super, super famous, and something happened to his channel, and then he lost his channel, and then YouTube got together, and yeah, I got his channel back or something, right? But yeah, I'll be that girl, right? I'll just still be striving to achieve my dreams because I won't give up, right? And yeah, I won't have 10,000 videos like he did, because he sang a song every night for like 10 years, right? Started as soon as YouTube. Oh, I'm not sure if he's still doing it now, but yeah, can you imagine? Yeah, but I'll be that person still struggling because I'm not giving up. I won't give it up. I have to play it out. I have to see, right? I have to see. Because that was a sign on me, because I know I can do it, right? And if I know I can do it, that's my intuition, right? That's everything about me, right? So if I know that I'm supposed to be in this industry, right? That I've got some kind of voice in this industry. If I know that, then I have to keep going, right? Even if I don't know how that's going to happen, I have to keep going. No choice. It's happening. I trust my intuition. Yeah. Yeah. Of all my intuition, if I can't trust that one, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's not a money thing. And yet it is a money thing. And that's the strange thing about this, right? Is because if I was funded properly, right, I could go off and do the most amazing explores. I could hire an editor. I bet you I can make explore videos just as good as anybody out there, right? And because I would have a little bit of a purpose too, because it just wouldn't be explore videos. It would be explore videos with a message, right? With getting in touch with your feelings and getting in touch with nature. They would have good messages, be good positive feelings, yeah, to my videos, right? But so it would be good for me to have that money flowing in, but at the same time, I have to be good enough, right? I have to be able to do this on my own. I know I could do a Patreon and I knew I could but for the very little amount of money that you would get, it wouldn't be worth the trouble, for the few people that would put their hard-earned money into that, right? So I have to find another way, and it'll hit. I'm not concerned with it. I'm convinced that this will work for me somehow. It'll get picked up somehow. Yeah. Maybe my coaching, I get so good at mindset that I become a mindset coach, right? Yeah. Yeah, you don't know. You don't know. Yeah, it should be. It's the way you love your books too, Andrew, right? How you like to write and stuff, right? Your journaling and stuff. So yeah, when you are passionate about something like that, like I'm passionate about having a voice, right? I'm passionate about, I've had some great experiences and bumped, heads with some great conversations with some amazing people in my lifetime. And at the same time, I've been learning from some amazing people, right? And it would be amazing if I could be good enough that my brand could take off, and that credit could be shown where credit is due, like for whatever reason I'm not catching it, right? Yet, right? But yeah, it'll be nice when I do, and I can really shout out some amazing stories, right? But you can't say, oh, look at so and so who taught me all this stuff, and yeah, and it's just Cindy the loser, right? And I wouldn't say that about myself, right? Because I'm not. It's just my opportunity just hasn't floated by me yet. But you can bet the second that it does float by me, I'm going to recognize it, and I'm going to be on that. Like yeah, I'll be on it. We got 10 minutes, everybody. Let's end this on a really good note. Anybody watching anything interesting on TV? I haven't watched TV in like 2 years, right? It got to the point where I was just watching reality TV in the end, right? And my life is a reality television show in itself, right? So I don't need to put anything more on my plate in the way of television anyway. Yeah, I'm gonna do everything I can to keep my internet this week, like everything I can. I don't know, the phone, the rent, everything. Yeah, you watch. I'll put it all back together. Yeah, it'll look really sharp when it's all put together the way I want it, right? But it sure would be nice if I could hit a job that I love, a job in my industry, right? I would love to do something in the way of, I'd be a great copywriter, I think. I'd be really good at copywriting, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Nothing is more alive than a work in progress. I saw a good one on a church. There's this church that I walk by all the time when I'm walking down Grant Avenue, and they have the best Shalom Mission, right? And they have the best sayings on this great big board, on the busy road, and I always stop to read them. And they had such a good one. I wish I could remember it because I would tell you. And yeah, you would have a. Yeah, I had a good chuckle. What was it? Oh, yeah, it was something about God, God and cell phones. Yeah, and if you wanted to talk to him, text and talk. If you really want to meet, if you want to talk to God, text him. If you want to meet him, text him and drive and text at the same time, or something like that. Yeah, and I just thought, oh, that is so true, right? hmm Well, that was nice. It was so much better than last Sunday. Last Sunday, I was touching on some subjects, and I was having just the worst week last week. And yeah, by the time I went live, yeah, I was just exhausted. Yeah, and we actually ended it. I think we ended our live a good half an hour early last week, but yeah, it went over so much better today. Yeah, I'm still a mess, but yeah, that's okay. And I think I've gotten over my walk. I don't think I'm going to do maybe, what time of night? No, maybe I will go for a walk tonight. Maybe I will go for a real quick walk, no excuses, right? Not to get outside like every day, because if I don't go outside for a walk, that means I didn't go outside at all today, right? So, and I have to check the mail anyway, see if there's any mail in there from the weekend. Yeah, no news is good news. Yeah. So, everybody, Andrew, Owen, thank you again, and Kathy was here tonight, and Nancy. Oh, that was nice that Nancy was here, and William was here too. Yeah, I haven't still decided what I'm going to do for the cats, but I do want to make a decision right away, whether or not to pick, because I just don't want to grab a cat because it's winter, right? Just for the company, just, misery likes company, so get a cat so a cat can keep me company in my misery, right? But I don't plan on being miserable. I plan on being, yeah, super excited and super productive and looking forward, right? Because, yeah, I got to feel good about myself. It's been a while since I felt good about myself, right? So, and recently had a few things happen that were not fun, but at the same time, I felt pretty good about myself, right? So I don't think I'm on the wrong track. I think I'm still on the right track, right? So, yeah, I want to explore that a little bit more. Yeah. But everybody, I guess we'll call it a night. I hope everybody is having a great week. We've got a busy week coming up. Next week at 2 weeks. Is it 2 weeks now for winter or for Christmas? Wow. Yeah. Holy moly. We're into winter already. How neat is that? Like 3 more months, and we're going to be back into spring. So excited. So excited. I know this is going to be the best year ever. This is going to be the best year ever for a lot of us. Yeah, I feel it. I feel it. This is our year for sure. Okay, everybody. Have a great night. I'm going to make myself a hot cup of coffee. And I know Evan Carmichael posted a video that I didn't get to watch yet. So I'll go check that out. Everybody, have a great week. We'll see you next Sunday. Have a great night. Bye-bye.